Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adam Nasir, and this is my video presentation for Project Management and Economy. My student ID is TM25054, and my course coordinator is Professor Madya TS Dr. Haji Muhammad Haji Makno from Universiti Malaysia Pahang Sultan Abdullah. Okay, now project management introduction. These are the project management fundamentals at a glance. There are several stages for project management. Okay, first let's look at what is a project. A temporary mission with a specific goal, a start, date, and end and date. Okay. We also have the triple constraint. The triple constraint is a project success depends on balancing scope, time, and cost, which is a structured path from concept to completion to determine whether the project is quality enough, it needs to have the time, scope, and cost that is managed efficiently. Okay, now let's move on to the five-phase project life cycle. Okay, there are five stages. First stage is the initiation, second planning, third execution, four monitoring and controlling, five closure. Okay, each of these stages is responsible uh, for project management quality. Okay, the essential management areas. We have key methodologies, waterfall versus agile. Waterfall is linear for fixed projects, and agile is iterative for changing priorities. Okay, next, proactive risk management. Identify potential problems, assess their impact, and plan how to mitigate them. Okay, next, stakeholder and communication management. Keep everyone impacted by the project informed, aligned, and engaged. Okay, these are the fundamentals. Now, let's move on to the introduction. What is project management? Uh, Project is different. Project management is different. Project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique result. Okay, while project management is application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet project requirement. Okay, project, to simplify things, project is, for me, it is a small scope of management. As for example, you need to create a video and you are divided into teams. You have leaders. You need leaders. You need uh, to have someone to write the script, to conduct the acting, uh, to record, to edit the video until it reach the end, which produce a single unique result like uh, a video, a complete video. Okay. Project management, uh, it is application of knowledge such as most of us will expose to project management most of the time when we are working. Okay, if let's say you are the manager, okay, what is the scope of manager? You need to manage people, manage outlet. Okay, um, and you need someone to help you, a supervisor. Okay, and if there anything happens, um, your worker supervisors will let you know. Okay, and then you will let someone above you know to fix the problems or to conduct a new event, applying the knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques. Okay, next. The triple constraint is the foundational project management model, stating that a project success is governed by three primary interconnected factors, which is first the scope, second time, and third the cost budget. Okay, so to determine a project quality is based on these three factors. Without these three factors, the project cannot be determined as a quality. It might be lack of something because it doesn't include this measure. Okay, first the scope. What is the scope? The specific goals, deliverables, tasks, and features to the project requires. Okay. Next time, the schedule, the timeline and deadlines allocated to complete the project. Okay, from the beginning to the end and during the process. Okay, and next, the cost budget, the resources, funds, and financial limits available to execute the project. Okay, a quality project uh, must allocate the budget given the cost according to the plan. Okay, that will determine the project success, the project quality without needing the extra cost. Okay, next, uh, the essential management area. Okay, first, the waterfall versus agile testing. Okay, waterfall is a rigid sequential approach where projects follow strict phases such as planning, design, build, test, deploy that must be completed one after the other. As for example, the product development courses did apply the waterfall uh, sequential. Okay, first they have the planning, the electric camp, the coding system. Okay, next, design, drawing, AutoCAD, Fusion. Then uh, they need to meet the supervisors for approval. Okay, next, fabrication, uh, method of join, build. Next, test the robot whether it can move or execute a certain task that it needs to execute, and deploy, challenge. Okay, that is waterfall. And how about agile testing? Agile is an iterative, flexible approach that adapts to change by releasing work in small, continuous cycle sprints. For me, it is more a flexible approach um, and not so organized like waterfall, which have the sequential approach. Okay, next, the proactive risk management is the ongoing practice of identifying, analyzing, and addressing potential threats before they materialize into disruptions. Okay, this is a common thing for every project management or project. Okay, there will always be a problem. So it is up to not just you, but if you are a leader, then uh, you need to adapt to changes, problems. You need to conduct your teams, your workers, together to avoid threats or problems before they become into something bigger, which is so much harder to prevent. Okay, next, stakeholder and communication management is the strategic process of identifying, engaging and exchanging relevant information with anyone invested in or impacted by your project or organization. So this will be applicable when you are working. Okay, stakeholder and communication management is very important. If you work in a company, there will be someone who invested to you. Okay, so you need to maintain a good communication with them, so that to avoid any conflicts. Okay, next. project management strategy. These are the core framework. First, initiation. Second, planning. Third, execution. Fourth, monitoring and controlling. Five, closing. Okay, initiation. First, first core step. Initiation is to define project goals, outline objectives, identify stakeholders, and create a project charter. Okay, next is the planning. Develop a detailed project plan, allocate resources, set timelines, and create a budget. Okay, and the third is execution. Implement the project plan, coordinate resources, and complete deliverables. And fourth, monitoring and controlling is track progress, compare results to the plan, and implement corrective actions. And fifth and last, core phase is the finalize activities, obtain stakeholder acceptance, release resources, and close contracts. Okay, now let's move on to the detailed parts for initiation. First, core phase. Okay, initiation phase. Phase overview. The project initiation phase is the first stage of the project life cycle. It focuses on defining the project's purpose, scope, and business value before any major resources are committed. Its goal is to secure formal authorization and align all key stakeholders on what the project will deliver. Okay, phase identifier, define project goals, create the business case, complete the project charter, draw up the list of stakeholders. Okay, step one, define the purpose and value. Okay, first draft a business case, which is the why. Why you want to conduct the project. Okay. And inside the why, we have the document the core problem. What problem will you be facing for the project? Okay, and next propose a solution and the expected return of investment, the ROI. When you wanted to conduct a project, of course you want something in return. You don't conduct a project out of nothing, out of fun or out of no purpose. It will lead to uh, eh, it will lead to nothing good in return for you or the company that you are working. Okay, next, assess feasibility, which is the how and can we. Okay, what to be included is the budget. What is the budget allocated for your project? Okay, and next, the required technology, which is the logistics, available team skill sets. Whether your team have the skill to execute the project or not. You need to consider everything that I have said in order to conduct a project. You need to consider all of this. Okay, next, initiation phase, step two, identify and analyze stakeholder. Okay, first you need to create a stakeholder register uh, from your internal team. Okay, they need to find sponsors and approvers. Okay, uh, the simple term for stakeholder is sponsors. Okay, uh, the stakeholder can be responsible also as mentors and advisors, something like that, based on what I understand. Or you need to find mentors and advisors for your project. Okay, stakeholder is someone that invested in your project. Okay, so that um you don't have to think much about the budget allocation if you have stakeholder. Okay, it will lead to map influence the power grid. Okay, map influence and interest the power grid are the uh, people people that is related to your project. Okay, as you can see, high power, which is higher ups in your company or project, they have low interest rate. So what you need is you need to keep them satisfied. Okay, next, high power, the higher ups with high interest rate, uh, you need to manage closely because they can be something good for you if you want to seek for tips or anything else. Okay, low power, which is maybe your worker, your mm, macam treasurer, something that someone that is not as the same level as the higher ups, which have low interest, you need to monitor because they might be a problem for your project because they don't give the same vibe, same energy as you or your other co-workers. Okay. Someone with low power and high interest, you need to keep them informed because they might be an asset for you that can help you achieve your target. Okay, next, the initiation phase, step 3, draft the project charter chart. Okay, in drafting the project charter, first we have to define high level scope, the what and what not. Okay, what need to be done, what need to be executed, what need to so on, and what cannot be done, what is not realistic, what is not suitable, applicable, something like that. Okay, it will lead to clear deliverables and explicit exclusions. Okay, second, the set preliminary timeline, the when. Okay, you need to set the project timeline from the beginning, the middle phase, and the end phase. It will lead you to the major milestones and critical target dates. And the third step, the estimate initial budget. The cost you need to allocate your budget wisely because you don't want an extra cost for your project, uh, or you don't want to repay back because you conduct a project that did not meet the wanted return of investment, which will lead to losses and your company will go bankrupt, something like that. Okay, it will prevent margin of error. Okay, the fourth is assign roles. The who is in charge, project manager and authority levels. You need to have a new hierarchy for your project. The treasurer, the leader, the head of department, the assistants, and so on, in order to have a smooth uh, project management. Okay, next, initiation phase, step 4, secure formal approval. Okay, first, host an initiation review, which uh, which is the approval. When you have something you wanted to do in the company, you have a project, you must let everybody knows or your head of department knows. So you need to host an initiation review, the pitch. Maybe we can say the same as meeting. It is for engagement and understanding among your workers, co-workers, leaders, higher ups. Okay, next, it is for managing expectations and alignment. Okay, second, obtain sign off the shield. You need When you deliver the pitch, you have the black and white, which is the approval on papers printed. Then you need to secure the sign. The formal signature, preventing and preventing scope. Uh, what is that? Scope creep, something like that. For your secure. Okay. Now we are going to the major phase. The second phase, core phase, the planning. Uh, Planning phase overview mission card. The planning phase is the most detailed part of the project life cycle. It builds on the authorized project charter to create a comprehensive roadmap for execution, monitoring, and closure. The primary goal is to establish the project baseline for scope, time, and cost. Okay, so the planning phase is where you plan everything from A to Z. Okay, you need to define scope, create a project plan, set a budget baseline, define rules and responsibilities. Okay, next. Okay, step one, create a work breakdown structure. Okay, WBS is the high, hierarchical decomposition into manageable components. The scope, deliverables, phases, tasks, plan, estimate, assign. Structured like an organizational chart or family tree. There are several levels in work breakdown structure. Level one, project name, decomposition into manageable components. Level two, deliverables, state, s- staging and deliverables, what you need to deliver. Okay, level three, sub of work. Uh, and level four, work package, decomposition, competitive, and assign. Okay. Step two, develop the project schedule. Okay. There are 8 steps of project scheduling process. First, you need to plan, define, determine resources, schedule, monitor, duration. Okay. What are the purpose of all that is to identify dependencies, independent, something like that. Okay, next, estimate durations. How long each of the process will be needed. Uh, okay, next, build the timeline. Okay, step three, define the detailed budget. There are several types of budget: operating, financial, cash, capital expenditure, sales, project, flexible, fixed. Uh, but each of these budget will lead to a resource costing. A resource costing, to clarify, calculate specific task cost in WBS, physical materials, software license, equipment rentals, manufacturing costs. Uh, uh, the money in and money out is depends on your company, what is the project, the engagement, and so on. Establish a baseline, log in final approved budget, measure spending against this baseline execution. Log in final approved budget, measure spending against this baseline during execution, ensure sufficient funds. Uh, this is important uh, to prevent company from bankruptcy. Next, step four, create a risk management plan. First, you need to identify risk, map out impact versus probability matrix, plan your risk response, assign an owner to the risk, understand your triggers, make a backup plan, measure your risk thresholds. Okay, these are the steps. This will the causes, identify risk, assess impact and probability, develop mitigation strategies. All will lead to develop mitigation strategies and prevent the risk from happening, which will prevent further problems from happening that will interrupt your project. Okay, the core phase three, the execution phase. Okay, the execution phase. Once the budget is locked and the schedule is set in the planning phase and everything is secured, well calculated, well measured, well planned, you enter the execution phase. This is the most active phase of the project life cycle. It is where the actual work gets done and your plans are turned into physical reality, realistically. Okay. Okay. So, direct and manage project work. Step one, the inputs, PMP, project document, approve change request, PEF, OPAs, something like that. And next, the tools and techniques needed, expert judgment meetings, stakeholders, mentors, and supervisors. Okay, next, the output is deliverables, work performance data, issue log, change requests, plan updates, document updates, assets updates, something like that. Okay, all will lead to task distribution, process coordination. Manage quality assurance, step two. Quality management, quality assurance, quality control. Uh, all the quality is decided by process audits. Okay, why does the quality assurance is in the execution phase, not in the planning phase or the closure, something like that? They still have quality assurance on the closure phase, but why during execution? Why not before execution? Uh, on the planning. It is because uh, to uh, to determine the quality of the product during the development, because after the product have been fabricated, have been created, only then we will know whether the product meet our expectation or not. So to determine that, it must go through the audit process and design verification. All of this is more to visualization inspection. Okay, next, manage resources and team. Step three. There are several steps in managing resources and team. First, we have the resources capacity, generic roles, bottleneck sources, supply and demand, sequence deliverable, delivery. Okay, next, resource allocation, availability, skills, name resource assignment. Uh, Next, resource work management, the competencies, task assignment, performance monitoring. Okay, teamwork management, collaboration, knowledge sharing, team cohesion, personal work management, production capacity, motivation, mastery, and so on. This will lead to resource allocation, team development, smooth project execution, problems prevention, mm, uh, and so on, something like that. Okay, manage communications. Step four. There are several types of communications: the formal written, plans and reports, the black and white on paper. Okay, next, the formal verbal updates and briefings, meetings, informal written, which is the email, text, Slack, chats, WhatsApp, something like that. And informal verbal, which is the casual conversations. This serve a purpose of status updates and managing expectations among your higher ups, co-workers, something like that. Okay, the Fourth core phase is the monitoring and controlling. Okay, we have monitoring and control phase. It is often listed after the execution phase. Uh, the monitoring and controlling phase actually happens simultaneously with execution. While it is often listed, the execution phase, the monitoring and progress simultaneously execution. If the execution is the act of driving the car, monitoring and controlling, checking the dashboard and adjusting the steering wheel to ensure uh, you do not steer off the road. That is monitoring and control phase. Okay, next, step one, track progress against the baseline. These are the examples, the gun charts with baseline. We have, as you can see, it has planning, design, procurement, construction, close out. Okay, you need to record every timeline, the planning, the actual plan, the actual timeline, and the planned timeline, whether it meets your expectation or not. It is to determine the accuracy. Okay. Okay. Schedule control, cost control, scope verification. The uh, the purpose of the baseline is to schedule control, cost control, and scope verification. Okay, next, step two, perform quality control, the QC. Okay. There are several steps to perform quality control. First, establishing standards, inspection and testing, sampling, defect identification, corrective actions, corrective and reporting, documentation and reporting, final approval. So how quality control works? By establishing controls indicated and engineering standards for inspection and testing, sampling, uh, defect identification, corrective actions, recommendations, and report, and the final approval. Okay, so quality control is to make sure that the uh, product produce uh, meet the expectation, meet the design, meet the requirement wanted. So we also have defect repair, testing deliverables, testing the product, something like that. Okay, next, step three, implement integrated change control. So if we have any changes, okay, if someone asks to alter the project, you must assess how that change will impact the budget, schedule, and scope. Okay, second, the integrated change control. Not all changes are accepted. If a change drastically pushes the project past its deadline, you may need to reject it or require the sponsor to provide additional funding and time, extra costs. Okay, implement changes. If a change is approved, you must officially update the project management plan and communicate the new baseline to the entire team. Step four, monitor risk. Risk management process. Okay, first, risk identification. Second, risk assessment. Third, risk response and mitigation. Four, risk monitoring and controlling. Okay, this is to identify new risks, execute mitigation plans, prevent further problems from happening. Okay. Okay, the core phase on the life cycle is and the core phase of the life cycles, the fifth step is the closure. Okay, the closure phase. Once the actual work is finished, the introduction, the monitoring and controlling, the planning, execution. Once the actual work is finished and the final quality checks have passed, you enter the final stage of the life cycle, which is the closing phase. Officially closing a project is critical for ensuring that you get formal credits. Okay, after everything that you have done, because you have conducted, have decided, have done, you need to get the formal credit. Okay, that resources are filled up and that you learn from the experience, something like that. Hand over the final deliverables. Step one, Comprehensive project handover document for seamless transitions. Okay, as you can see, the visual is like a file which is uh, organizedly keep. Okay, project handover document, project info, project overview, project change, project task, project documentation, project resources, project handover. Okay, a successful project handover requires transferring the complete deliverable and equipping the client with the operational knowledge to use and maintain it. To do this seamlessly, you must review the final asset and hand over all documentation, provide training and secure formal and written sign off. Okay, approval, you need to sign off. And during closure, you need to sign off also. This is to secure your position, your the safety of your project. Okay, review final assets, submit project, hand over documentation, provide training, structure training, on devices, secure formal written sign off. Okay, next. Administrative closure. Okay, you during the project you don't just leave everything just like that. When the target is achieved, you need to undergo several steps. Okay, through project completion, legal and contractual. Okay, we have validate success, organizational learning, resource optimization, knowledge capture, and no zombie projects. Formally finalize all activities, transfer deliverables to stakeholders because they have invested in your project, document lesson learned from the project, archive to protect records for future readiness, process purpose ensures compliance, organizations, and readiness for future initiatives. Okay, next for the step three, benefits of post-mortem meetings. Conduct a post-mortem. Why do we need post-mortems after every meetings, project, event, something like that? It's to learn from the project outcomes, turning mistakes into meaningful changes, fostering teams, communication, and collaborations, reinforcing good culture and behaviors, creating transparency across internal and external teams. Okay, these are the benefits for post-mortem meeting. For those who don't understand, post-mortem is a meeting, not formal, short. It can be formal. A meeting after an event, a project, a discussion, and so on, something like that. It's just to discuss about the outcomes, bonding, to learn, avoid mistakes in the future, something like that. Okay, step four, archive documentation and sign off. OCR documents to make them searchable, use centralized cloud storage for easy access, backup archive files in a secondary repository. All this purpose of archive, keeping the all the sign written off black and white on papers, all the plan, all the charts, all the document is for future references or security, something like that. Okay, now let's go for the conclusion. A structured project management lifecycle ensures every initiative is strategically aligned, operationally sound, and continuously improving. By mastering the transition from initiation to closing, teams significantly minimize unforeseen risk, optimize resource allocation, and ultimately maximize the return on investment (ROI). Success is not just about finishing, it is about delivering the intended value while building a repeatable framework for future innovation. Okay. Uh, vision and design. Transitioning from initiation to planning ensures that value is defined upfront and rigorous roadmap is built to navigate complex requirements. Okay, velocity and control, the execution and monitoring phases represent the engine of progress where daily tasks are balanced against quality standards and scope baselines. Delivery and assets, the closing phase formalizes success. It transforms deliverables into long-term assets and converts project experience into organizational intelligence. So these are the references from from authoritative industry standards or foundational academic textbooks. And that is all from me. Thank you and assalamu alaikum.